You've never had imposter syndrome? Is that what
Me?
Yeah.
You came up to me the other day. You're like, "Have you ever had imposter syndrome?" I've heard about it. It's
Is
this
the
concept
thing?
is so unfamiliar.
I mean,
What is that?
You're not kidding?
What does that feel? No, I'm not. Genuinely.
can you give us a quick
That is
lowdown?
confidence.
Can you give us a quick lowdown on your background, like how you got to the bunq? Because I think that might answer that question.
It
Probably.
starts in 1800.
Welcome to Everything's Fintech, everybody. My name is Zach Anderson Pettet, VP Fintech Strategy here at Money 2020. Micky, who are you and who are these folks? I'll let you just kind of take it from here.
I'm Micky. I'm part of the content team at Money 2020. And today we are joined by Ali and Bianca, the CEO, co-founder. Founder? Is it the founder of bunq?
Founder.
CEO.
Unfortunately.
And the chief strategy officer of bunq. How are we doing, guys?
Good. I'm very excited to be here. It's the first time we're doing something like this together. So.
It's our first time together, so thank you for having us.
Oh, is this the first time?
We don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe
No.
crazy,
We
Wow.
don't either, but it's
or
gonna be
just
fun.
really
Crazy.
boring, or just really fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Time will
How could this be boring?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Well, yeah.
Stay
You're on
tuned.
the edge of your seat. Find out how it can be boring coming up next.
Talking of first times, so how
Good
long have you...
transition.
When did you guys first meet? Let's start with that. Let's go to you, Bianca.
yeah,
What was the
let's start
first time
with
you met Ali?
Well, I actually joined bunq just after we launched in 2016. And that was the first time that we met. I joined bunq as customer support, so answering user questions.
Wow.
And that's where it all started. I
Just
was
like most
thinking
chief
about
strategy officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very natural
a bit
trajectory, of course.
atypical trajectory indeed. I
At
don't
bunq
really-
it is, by the way.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Fair
You've
enough.
got the example right here
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember the first moment though we met. Do you?
I think you were reporting to Spierenburg, Jasper.
Jasper Spieren.
Jasper Spierenburg. At bunq we have this this thing where we call everyone with their Slack handle. Which is also cool because you never really know whether it's a he, a she, young, old, where they're from. And it allows for a more objective assessment of people. So anyway, Spierenburg is a guy. His name is Jasper. Hi, Jasper, if you're listening. And he hired Bianca, one of his best decisions ever. And Bianca just rocked it from day one. I remember in customer support, I think she was doing like 40% of all the tickets by herself. I don't know what the other guys were doing.
Wow.
but it was-
Wow.
yeah. And I think what defines Bianca is that she always understands and takes the angle of the user. And obviously that's very important at bunq. And so I think next to her incredible intelligence and drive, that's probably the most important reason why she has grown and gone through that trajectory.
Bianca's not mad about this interview anymore.
We can stop right now.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you
Done.
needed,
Okay,
right?
let's go.
So interesting, but clearly 40%, things along those lines, you stood out, but how did that trajectory actually go from A to Z?
So I think one of the great things about bunq is that we don't look at your background, right? Your experience or your passport, your degree, anything. We look at your ability to solve a problem. So I think, I don't know what year it was. I'm really bad with years, but we had a bunq update in a certain year. And for anyone listening that doesn't know what a bunq update is, it's basically a cool evening in a theater where we announce all kinds of new features that we release to the public. And we had an update that night. And I remember Ali coming to me saying, I need a press release for tonight. And I was in customer support at the time. I think I was lead of customer support. I was like, you need a what? And he's like, yeah, you can do that. So I wrote something which was obviously quite poor because I've never written a press release in my life. We went back and forth a couple times and until we had a press release. And then he said, I guess you're PR now. So this is basically an anecdote, and I think it is how my entire trajectory went. It was like, can you solve a problem? Cool, do it. And then there's a new problem. Let's solve that one. And all the way up to here.
Makes sense. How big was the company at that point, if you remember, like employee count wise?
I think about 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So still a true startup, still wearing a lot of hats at one time, and hats you didn't even necessarily know you were going to wear when you woke up that morning.
Put them up anyway, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a lot of hats.
Ali, when you first met Bianca, what was your first impression? Was it from the beginning you're like, okay, I see the talent?
That's actually really funny.
I don't think we're particularly impressed with each other.
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
No. Because Bianca used to work at an incumbent bank before.
Oh.
There's the ABN girl. I think you thought.
And then, when we started, we really wanted to have people outside of the industry because we wanted to have fresh views and we wanted to have people who genuinely cared about our users. And I couldn't understand how someone could, at the time, I'm more sophisticated in my thinking now, but I couldn't understand how someone could genuinely be compassionate with users and, really embrace them and work in the incumbent bank at the time of the financial crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't 2008.
But
I think the context...
I was wrong. Yeah. I'm happy to admit I was wrong. And again, Jasper made a great call, and Bianca did all the hard work. Thank God. Now I don't have to so much anymore. So thank you.
Love it. I think the context he was missing at the time, though, is that I worked for 8 months at this incumbent bank. I wasn't ingrained in their culture, and the whole reason. Okay, let me take a step back. So I joined the traditional bank just after my studies because I didn't really know what to do, and they were looking for people who spoke multiple languages. I always knew this was not going to be the place for me. So I was like, let's work and I'll figure out what I don't want, which is also good input. And while I was working there, we had meetings every day, like a daily stand-up, where we would go through the news of that day. And one day I remember standing there, a room full of bankers. You can kind of get the vibe. And they were talking about bunq, this new bank built by techies, by a bunch of nerds, basically. Mm-hmm. And they were all laughing like, oh, they're never going to make it. And
the early days of Fintech.
So I was like, ooh, what's that? So after the meeting, I was going to say I walked through my laptop, but I definitely walked through my desktop because we're a traditional bank. And I applied right there, right then, while working at a traditional bank. And I think 2 weeks later, I joined bunq.
Wow.
Yeah, we move fast in all aspects.
But you said at the beginning, when Ali said, he was unsure about you, it was also the same for you, right? You said you didn't.
Well, I think we weren't particularly impressed, but not in a bad emotional way. I think we just both show, don't tell people. So once we started showing each other things, it clicked.
I think that defines bunkers, though. So from the outside, and this is something I don't understand, it's Victor, who is another long-term bunq employee, always keeps telling me, Ali, you still think you're just Ali, right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm just fucking Ali. Sorry about the swear. Here we go.
Please swear.
I don't care. And I think most people at bunq are like that. We're merit-based, right? Nobody cares about, as Bianca said, about your background or about your fancy papers or, who you are or who you know or where you come from. All we care about bunq is a laser focus on our users and solve their problems. Right. And if you're good at that, there's a place for you at bunq. And I think many of the people, especially the people that we hired in the first couple of years, and I would like to think also today, many people have that way of thinking. And so it is completely logical to me for Bianca to look at me and say, okay, I don't know this guy.
You founded this bank. See if I care.
Yeah. Okay, but can you fix this?
Yes.
And I love that attitude.
Oh, you're looking at me now?
Yeah, I thought you had something to add in there, but I can go if you want.
I feel like you have a direction you're
Zach
going.
was just taking a nap.
You keep going. No, I was just...
it's not that boring.
I was taking it in. I mean, I do have a number of questions. I can jump in. It's been a long fucking few days, guys. Sorry.
Oh, we're all swearing now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Feel comfortable, swear. It seems as though you two are quite close now. Do you butt heads now to get to the right decision? Do you tend to agree pretty often? Like, what is the kind of relationship at this point today?
We used to butt heads.
Yeah.
I think we're at the state now where everybody is a little bit more mature, that we can disagree and still move forward. Mm-hmm. I think neither of us has the energy anymore to do a tug of war And by the way, it's not just us, but it's also me with other people and Bianca with other people. I think when we started, there was a lot of energy, right? You're young, you're energetic, you're passionate about things, and every little thing must be debated. And, you're just convinced that certain things should go certain ways. And I think, now we're just more pragmatic. Oh, you see it this way, I see it that way. Are you sure you took this into consideration? Yes? Okay, let's do that. Fine. Done. Next. And I think also the scale of bunq is too big now to stand still with certain decisions for too long.
Is it almost like whoever is more passionate about that specific thing?
No.
It's
Arguments always win. They won in the old days. They won in the new days. It's just that in the old days, both parties would do their utmost best to come up with the most possible amount of arguments possible.
No, but I also think it's one of the things I learned from Ali that especially the more higher stakes the decisions become, there's no perfect decision, right?
Of course.
So we sometimes disagree, always on content though, not on who has a certain idea. And then we decide, okay, we're going to try your thing now. Let's move forward.
I want to go back to hiring really quick, actually, because it sounds like you're like bunkers. This sounds to be a strong culture. So as you scale, how do you continue to find that unique kind of wild human that's probably going to run through some walls and probably not a normal person to apply for a job? Like, it sounds like a lot of the people you're looking for may one day end up being founders even or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, You want to take
go
this
first.
one?
No, you go first.
No, that's so. There's a lot of truth in that. So first of all, a lot of bunkers are founders, either ex-founders or like Bianca. She left bunq for a couple of years, did her own thing, then came back.
Boomeranged back. Yeah.
What was the? We'll come back to this, but what was the couple of years?
What was a couple of years what I did? So basically, when I was head of PR, I worked with a lot of PR agencies, and they kind of frustrated me a bit. They clearly didn't understand.
That was really kind of you, but
yes, I know.
I think
Everybody's
we can read between the
swearing.
lines.
Yes. So I thought I can do that better. I started my own thing.
And it sounds like you did.
I did.
And
but
then,
I then returned home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So back
E.T.
to
phoned
recruiting.
home. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's not particular to Bianca. A lot of the really great people we have today started at bunq very young. They got recognized because of exceptional talent. They built out the talent at bunq. Then they went out of home, tried their hand in the real world, and they came back, or they're now partnering with bunq. Or so real bunkers never really leave. It's always the same group of people. Sometimes they do stuff together. And I'd like to think that's still the case. So relatively recent, we opened our Turkish branch, our Turkish office. And this was mainly done by another boomerang, Maric, who worked at bunq, then left, not because she wanted to leave, but because she moved back to her country of origin, which is Turkey. And then as we were expanding, she said, hey, you know what? I can set up the Turkish office for you. I was like, sure, why not? And so when I visited that for the first time, I didn't know what to expect and, what I would find there. And I drove up to this office, and which is beautiful. It's an office, an entire building in the bunq colors, which is
amazing.
Freaking great.
Mind-boggling.
In bunq colors, and you walk in, and it's almost as if you have the same diversity of people that we have in Amsterdam or in Rotterdam or in our other offices. And so, these people are out there, and I think, you describe these people as if they're exceptional and as if, only a few of them exist. And I think that's only partly true. Of course, talent like Bianca is exceptional and rare. But I think what makes bunq great is that what defines us and what unifies us is this focus on our users. And so that has this unifying effect that then also allows people to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And that gives so much liberty and energy and creativity because we all know we can trust each other. Everybody's focused on the same thing. And we know nothing else matters. So you do you.
And I think that's also why a lot of people want to join bunq, because actually we looked at the numbers the other day. There's 20,000 people a month applying for a job at bunq.
Wow.
I know.
What? Wait, how many employees do you guys have at the moment?
Yeah,
812.
800, and I'm guessing you don't even have 200 job opportunities
No,
online
30,
or
I
anything.
think, yeah.
You have 30, 20. Wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
that's ridiculous.
I think people want to join because we don't look at your background even during our recruitment process. We don't even ask for your
so
CV.
fully blind.
Yeah.
But yeah, how does it work?
Yeah, talk us through that.
So basically, what we want to assess is whether you have the right skills to solve a specific problem. So sometimes you start with a specific job in mind. Sometimes it's an open application, right? Or we reach out to you. That's also possible. So the first steps are actually a couple of online tests. Since day one, we've had that actually. I remember doing them myself as well, sweating in the ABN office. I did them there. Anyway, side note.
30 out of 33, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yes, correct.
Wow, you remember her score too.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the abstract reasoning test.
Are they psychological, technical? What?
Yeah, so we had two at the time. We're a little bit more sophisticated now, but we had one basically character test because we have a lot of dynamic teams, right? So you solve on different problems with different groups of people. So one is the Myers-Briggs, the MBTI. Bianca is an INTJ, I am an ENTJ. And the second one was a abstract reasoning test to see how well you could deal with concepts and turn them into reality. These were basically 33 questions, and Bianca scored 30 out of 33,
Well, yeah.
which is very good.
Wild.
That's I mean, part of the reason for the silence is the exhaustion. The other part of the reason for the silence is it's just
Mainly the exhaustion. It's
so
okay.
unique.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wildly out of the ordinary. So on top of that, though, you're not seeing the CV. You're not seeing a
No.
lot of that background as well.
Exactly, because after those tests, we will have an interview. And then we go to, I think, one of the most exciting parts of the process, which is the Get Shit Done Day.
Get shit done day.
Correct.
I love that.
You come to our office. So it's as if you were a bunker for a full day. We give an assignment to see how you would solve a specific problem. Sometimes we start quite broad, sometimes with a specific thing in mind. And we have a couple of moments of alignment during the day in which we check in. And then, we see where you would fit within bunq. And actually, we end up with quite some unexpected routes. Not just the young people in that sense. For example, I'm not calling you old if you're listening, Maurice. There is a person. He's also.
What a way to start. Disclaimer.
No, I just saw what I set myself up for. Anyway, Maurice was actually doing his Get Shit Done Day for something finance related, CFO related, because has been a CFO for his entire career, which has been quite lengthy. And he's now our head of product because during the Get Shit
Exactly. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, during his Get Shit Done Day, I think it was at the end of the day when he was presenting his assignment that we looked at each other and thought,
You're
what?
a really good product guy.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I guess I can understand how you would get there. This sounds expensive. This sounds time consuming.
No, it's very cheap. So first of all, it's really great for people doing these Get Shit Done Days because you get a true hands-on feel of what it's like to be at bunq. Whether it's for you, whether you like the environment, whether you like the colleagues, whether you like the assignments, whether you like the way of work. So that's great, right? So many people get hired into an environment they don't know. Mm-hmm. Many of our employees are international, so you move countries, you go through all of that trouble, you start your first week and you're like, maybe, right? Yeah. I've never understood how someone can make a life decision based on a couple of conversations and then end up in an environment that you have never seen before. So it's cheap from the employee's perspective. And I think from bunq's perspective, it's cheap too because there's...
Versus turnover?
Yes, and making the wrong hire. There's one thing worse than turnover, having the wrong person in the wrong position.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's super cheap.
Comparatively, yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. We do that's so far away from anything I've ever heard in terms of a recruiting process. It's
How did you come to this process? Like, what was the genesis of this way of thinking?
Well, I think I saw a comic. True story. I saw a comic.
Back in the days.
I don't know, 20 years ago. So two things. One, I knew I would like to have a process that was objective. Because of my own background, my name is Ali. We live in the Netherlands. Not everyone is as broad-minded as they should. Not everybody sees everybody as equal as I think they should. And so I've had some of my own experiences, and so I wanted to make sure that my company or my companies would never fall in that narrow-minded trap. And so we wanted to make sure that people would be assessed on the basis of their skill and on the basis of their merit, not on other stuff. So that was one. So the abstract reasoning test and the Myers-Briggs, we always had that at my other companies too. And then I was reading this comic, and it was this one image of someone supposedly applying at IKEA, and then the whole comic was the interviewee asking the person, okay, take a seat. And of course the seat...
Build the seat.
Yeah, was disassembled, and that person... And I thought, and I laughed at first, it was such a smart comic. And then I thought, hey, there's so much truth in this.
Yeah.
And we turned that into a process. Into, hey, you say you're a great programmer. Who am I to agree or disagree? Show me.
So when you're recruiting someone, right? So you got this specific chief compliance officer or something like that is going to do an amazing, or I guess based on how this conversation is going, you have a hunch might do an amazing job on this specific thing based on some new product that's coming out. Do you put someone that you're trying to kind of like wine and dine, or maybe that's not the right way to put it, but truly like recruit and pull in through that same process?
Yes.
Everyone.
I love that.
Everyone.
I
Yeah.
love that.
There are no exceptions at bunq. We are all equal. Everybody goes through the same process. Done.
Do a lot of people fall out?
I did the test too myself.
Well, what did you score?
Well,
Not 30.
No, he did 32, I think.
33 out of
Because
33.
you
wow.
Did you write the
30,
you
test?
yeah.
disagreed with one answer.
Well, the truth is that the answers are my answers.
I was going to say,
Well,
did you
that's a
write the
longer
test?
story.
And there we go.
Yeah.
I mean,
And there's disagreement with Xavier on one of the answers.
That's
So I think we approve them both now.
so one of the questions of the 33, you can answer either way and it's correct.
Yeah, you can choose 2 out of 4 options. No.
Just anything.
Because Xavier, this is another example of how we work. He came to me, he said, that answer is incorrect. I said, no, look, because this is how you get to that answer. He said, okay, but look, this is how you get to that answer.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so then they're both correct. Done.
How thick of skin do you have to work at bunq?
Both very thick as well as thin. So, no, let me put it differently. If the one thing you're most concerned about is doing the best possible job you can in your life,
Yep.
then the thinner your skin, the better, because everybody at bunq will hold you to the highest standards. If, however, you have an ego and your most important thing is keeping up appearances, and I don't want to sound negative, but unfortunately, so many people, and I wish for them that they would have a better life, but so many people end up in this place where they feel like they need to keep up appearances.
Most people.
Things like imposter syndrome and stuff that I've never experienced or heard of. If you're that kind of person, then bunq is not the place for you, because people will break through your walls, and then that will be painful, that will be ineffective, and you will probably end up feeling as if everybody around you at bunq is crazy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You've never had imposter syndrome? Is that what
Me?
it is?
No,
Yeah.
You came up to me the other day, you're like, have you ever had imposter syndrome? I heard about it. This concept is so unfamiliar to me.
I mean,
What is that?
You're not kidding?
What does that feel like? No, genuinely.
can you give us a quick
that is
lowdown?
confidence.
Can you give us a quick lowdown on your background, like how you got to the bunq? Because I think that might answer that question.
It starts in 1800.
Yes, thank you. After Maurice, I'm the oldest one. Thank you, Bianca. Yes.
You created merchant banking. Now it all makes sense.
So yeah, I was born in Canada. Iranian parents. We lived in Canada. Then we moved to Iran. Then I lived there a couple of years. Then we moved to Gouda, the cheese city in the Netherlands. Lived there. I started coding when I was 9. I started programming when I was 12. And I built my first company at the age of 16.
And you've been serial entrepreneuring ever since?
Yeah, and I appreciate that by today's standards, that sounds really cool. But when I started when I was 16, I was really the weird kid out there, you know. I had these big glasses, very similar to the picture you know of Bill Gates, except my glasses had tape on them because they were broken and we were on welfare, so we didn't have any money to buy new ones.
I love that.
It's a great picture.
So anyway, needless to say, I was never part of the cool kids. And so I think I've greatly benefited of that because of that, I've never felt I don't even know what it feels like to try and, you know, impress someone or fit in or pretend something you're not. I've always been doing what I felt was the right thing to do or a thing that interested me or the thing a situation required.
Have you always been confident in it, like fully confident in it?
I think, so confidence can be two things. Confidence can be you're convinced that there's a task at hand and you will execute it and the outcome will be what you want it to be or expect it to be. In that sense, no, of course. I'm a human being. I don't know. You know, I can predict the future. I didn't know whether bunq would be a success. I didn't know whether any of the other stuff would be a success. Yeah. I don't know. But confident in the sense like, this is a challenge that I must pick up and this is the best way to do it. And then whatever the hell happens is what happens. Yeah, I always give it my all. And then, you know, I can't control the outcome. All I can control is how I approach things.
And I think that's also because you're a coder, right? So
probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe I became a
Feedback-
coder because I'm like,
or the other way around. Feedback is just that, right? Feedback. It says nothing about you as a person. You tried something. Oh, it didn't work. Let's try the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a really good point because indeed, I mean, when you start coding and you know, you make a typo, the computer is completely objective, right? Yeah. It's not because it doesn't like you or because of whatever. It either works because you did it right or it doesn't because you made a mistake. And then when you make a mistake, you know, you either smash the computer in frustration, which I've never done. Yet. Or you're like, okay, that's unexpected. Why did this happen? And then you play around and then you come to the right solution. And I think, to Bianca's point, and I think she's very correct, that's the way we expect you to be at bunq at everything. We don't care about the outcome. What we care about is that you put in your best effort and that whatever the outcome is, it is something that we learn from as a collective and we take steps forward.
Makes sense. I still can't believe you've never had imposter syndrome though. Like you've never sat in a room where you're like, holy shit, how did I get in here with all these people?
No.
He doesn't.
I don't feel that. I don't feel like genuinely. I don't know what that feels like.
Bianca, how did you react when he said that to you about the
I know him for a very long time, so I just laughed. I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, as I believed it because it sounds like Ali. No, I have experienced it, I must say. I'm not sure why, but for example, let me think. I have many examples, but when I came back to bunq, I came back to bunq as Ali's chief of staff at the time, which basically, I can talk about it for a long time, but what it comes down to is that you're the second in command. And I remember during those first weeks, there was all these meetings and decisions I was being thrown in, and I genuinely was wondering at times, like, am I smart enough? Mm-hmm. Am I quick enough? What is going on? I remember you called me one time about this commercial deal or potential commercial deal, and you briefed me on what it was about and what we're trying to achieve. And I think I understood 20% of it. I was like, yeah,
I don't remember.
Sure, sounds great. And then I actually had to do the call with the other company, with their whole board and just me. And it actually went really well. So it helped me understanding that it doesn't really matter because my point was never to understand. The point was never that I should understand all the details. Yeah. My point was to understand, okay, what does this company want? What do we want? Does the user want, most importantly? And where do we meet in the middle?
Yeah. I have imposter syndrome all the time, but I still do the thing. I guess that's kind of how I look at it.
Feel like I don't want to make it a psychological.
We can make it a therapy session.
This is going to be an episode of Dr. Phil.
I think one way to put it is, so, you know, Micky and I doing everything is fintech. At this point, we're sitting in the room with the CEO and the chief strategy officer of bunq. That's one. We were in here.
We're on your turf.
I just want to say I don't feel imposter syndrome at all now after this conversation.
We're all friends now, so maybe that's not the best example. But David Sandstrom, that was a little intimidating at the beginning. Not quite sure.
CM of Klarna.
Yeah. There's just
Ali's like, what?
It's like, Carter, what's
whatever,
that?
whatever.
No, I can be impressed by somebody's ability.
Fair.
Like, I've been surrounded with very smart people, but I don't feel intimidated or like a lesser person. I'm just in awe about somebody's skill.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I think you just have a
person's-
healthier way of looking at it. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
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 Very
Maybe.
balanced individual.
And confident, but also very logical. I mean, it does sound
Yeah,
like
very
a lot.
logical.
Of,
Yeah,
a lot of
logical,
this comes out of being an engineer, and I'm not an engineer. I'm an emotional person, and I'm not sure if I belong in here. Okay.
You want
You're
to
doing
drink?
fine.
I think I scared Bianca with that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I'm an introvert. I'm going to hide in a corner now.
There you go. There you go.
What was the time? So when you went from chief of staff to chief strategy officer, I think that was the next step. How was that? What was that feeling like for you? And how did your role change?
I don't have a particular feeling. I think I turned into quite a logical person as well, I guess.
Are there many feelings at the company? Is it pretty
Yes.
logical?
Yeah.
I mean,
Company is pretty logical.
yeah.
Not entirely, but pretty logical.
My experience with being
It's an engineering company.
yeah, but like being an American, I haven't actually been able to be in the app, but like, knowing bunq, it does feel emotional when it's coming at me, right, as a consumer. So it's just interesting to like think about the juxtaposition of an incredibly logical organization feeling a little bit more emotional.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's a really valid point, because what you're feeling is our passion
Yeah.
and our dedication to you as a user,
Yeah.
I think.
The fact that we're logical doesn't mean we don't have heart, right? The fact that we're logical, because we're logical, we're focusing on the right things. Your wants, your needs, building a product around that, and not all the other fluff
Yeah.
around it. Yeah.
I mean, I think that makes so much sense just from like my experience of just being in the world of work, right? Like, especially when you're young, a junior member in a team, for example, and you can't do a lot of things, even if the idea is the right one, because there's a lot of feelings that end up getting hurt, for instance.
We don't have that at bunq.
Yes, I've come to
We,
realize that.
we gathered.
So you're both joining bunq. Is that the
Yeah.
conclusion
Well,
of this
If you have great
podcast?
ideas, you're welcome.
How do we
Yes.
beat those 20,000 applicants? It sounds like.
Just be better. Easy.
Easy.
So what happens if you, like, on that point, right? Like, you must, for each role, you must have so many potential people.
How do you filter?
Yeah, how many, like, get shit done day? How many people are there on a get shit done day? And how do you reduce that number?
I think we have several every day.
You just had one.
Yeah,
I think you just
I have
dialed
one
into
today.
one. Yeah.
I have one today. Yeah.
So,
not
that
here.
person
Oh,
works
okay.
with you? Do they end up working with you? How does that work?
Yeah, they will. So actually, this is a more senior position. So those are 2 days. And normally I'm there physically because I think it's very important. There's some things that get lost in translation through a screen. So it's very important to see someone in real life. So normally I would be there all the time, but now I will see that person tomorrow. And today we just called.
Are they in your office today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
So
guys
they're doing-
remote or are you guys fully in office? As a
Neither.
company.
The world is not a black and white place, my friend.
Wow, tell that to the big banks.
So what's very important to us is culture and getting to know each other. So when you first start, I think the first 3 weeks, you're expected to be in the company all the time. And then we slowly and gradually reduce that number. But even if you've been there for several years, like Bianca, or myself, by the way, you're still expected to be in the office at least 3 days a week with some exceptions.
Okay.
I've never heard of that kind of like a systematic
because
shift.
the
Makes a
thing-
lot of sense. Again, logical, but I've never heard of
Exactly.
it before.
Because the point to us is being in the office is a dogma. Not being in the office is equally a dogma.
Yeah.
So for us, the question is not be in office or not be in office. The question for us is, what problem are we trying to solve? And the problem that we're trying to solve is to create a bonded, familiar, kind, but very dedicated team where people know each other, trust each other, fight for each other, win for each other. And you cannot do that fully remote from what we've seen.
I don't think it's possible. Do you structure your weeks in a specific way as a entire company or like by team because of that? Like, is there we're going to do this Tuesday, this Thursday because we all know we're together, and then deep work on Monday or whatever when I'm at home.
Yeah, you want to explain the weekly submit?
No, you please do.
Oh,
It's your baby.
So everything at bunq.
This just got corporate. The weekly submit.
I know.
Yeah. Not everything corporate is bad.
First time disagreeing with you, Ali. Carry on.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm just. I agree. I agree.
So at bunq, we try to be very structured because the world around us is very chaotic and we tend to go very fast. So we revolve around a number of processes that are very rhythmic. So we have OKRs set up. We treat every quarter as a year. So every quarter we have OKRs. These OKRs are then calculated back into weekly goals. These weekly goals are then aligned to daily tasks.
Yep.
So at the end of your day, every day you send your team lead and or the people that you're in a project group with a status update on how you advanced in your tasks, if you hit any roadblocks, and most importantly, if you need anyone's help to avoid roadblocks for your tasks the next day. These then get coalesced into weeklies. These weeklies have a weekly rhythm. My weeklies start every Monday at 1700 Amsterdam time. So you need to submit all of your documents for the business as usual things before every Monday, 1700 Amsterdam time. We are a document first company. So knowledge travels through documents, not through conversations. I go through all of the documents you submit, give your fair feedback. You read those comments. Then we have a one-on-one. Then you take that back and you run with it, and next week we see each other again.
It's very it seems like you've taken. Have you studied past management practices and best practices at all to get to any of this? Because a lot of what you just described is very like Andy Grove, way back in the day, sort of thing, but not all of it.
Yeah, I have read some books out of interest and. Keep in mind, I've been investing in stocks when I was very young. So but I think most of it is really my engineering heart. I always ask myself, again, what is the problem we're trying to solve? And what is the most effective, efficient way to solve that problem? And I believe that in a company where things are moving fast along all dimensions, the product is moving fast, the world around us is moving fast, our competition is notorious, they're so good. We're growing fast, lots of new people, lots of changes, lots of regulation changes, lots of things, lots of moving parts all over the time. How do you organize that without stifling a company?
Reduce noise.
Yeah, reduce noise. Please, let's reduce noise. Yeah.
I have to ask, do you pay a good amount of attention to your competitors, or do you kind of keep blinders on as far as that goes?
There are people in our company that do. I don't. I pay close attention to our users.
Is it their job to watch the competitors, or just they do it because they're interested?
So for some roles, it's their job. So for example, for the interest rates, we have someone who obviously keeps track on what the others are doing.
Yeah.
For some roles, like product, they just look at competition to see how not to do it, and then we do it.
No, I
Well
think
done.
when it comes to product, we indeed very much look at the wants and needs of our users. To give a very tangible example, we launched bunq stocks, I think, a couple months ago. Don't pin me down on it. And it never started as...
bunq update 27, and then crypto at bunq update 28.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Wow.
Well, he's got the facts straight.
Rolodex.
But it never started as we need to launch an investment product. That was never the starting point. The starting point was our users. They told us, we'd love to start investing, but we simply do not know how to. So we started from that experience rather than we need an investment product with all kinds of features and charts and fancy whatever. So if you start investing, what does that experience look like?
And what's holding people back who want to invest but don't invest today?
Exactly, because as a very clear example, when you start investing, a lot of people, let's wave to the camera.
Break the fourth wall, everyone.
That's Scarlett, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Scarlett.
So when you start investing, a lot of people start giving you unsolicited investment advice. They're like, you really should buy S&P 500. And you're like, okay, cool. That's what I'm going to do. Then you open an app of any traditional bank or even Fintech. And you're like,
There's 50,000 stocks in there. What do I do now?
there's a dozen S&P 500s. So which one do I choose? So what we did as an example, we chose one of them. a good performing one, low cost one. We make it simple. So we start from the problem. What's your experience like when you start investing? And we build a product around that. So user first always.
Go ahead, Micky.
All right.
Oh.
I guess I just want to change track for a second, right?
Okay.
We've logical, but when has the logic ever failed, or is there a time when it's been tested?
How can logic fail? Logic by definition cannot fail.
You knew the question. You knew the answer you were going to get from the engineer.
But you're working with humans, right? And humans.
The anticipated outcome might be something different than you anticipated or wished or hoped for. But logic cannot fail.
But
if you failed it, you might have not applied logic.
Math does not fail.
No,
Physics does not fail.
That like super logical approach to how you run and structure your teams, is there times when you've had to kind of draw it back or change it a little bit because it was, it was a bit difficult to kind of incorporate that culture or for the people you're working with?
Well, us being a regulated entity, of course, we're under a lot of scrutiny by a lot of parties. And, the logic first outcome results based approach doesn't go down well with all people. As I just said, we work in the real world. Real world has a variety of human beings. Some of them, for whatever reason, have a ego that mismatches their ability.
Such a
politically
correct way of
saying that.
saying
Humans that you're just like, what the fuck are all of you doing? I can tell.
But anyway,
their ego mismatches their ability.
Yeah.
Yes.
When that is exposed, one of two things happens. Either they're like, oh, wait a minute, I thought I was really good at this. Clearly, I suck. Well, at least now I know, and now I can do something about it.
Yeah.
So those are great. Those are the people who stay at bunq. And
I've been there, often.
Okay,
more than once.
Good to know. Anyway, so so that's so they grow, right? They take this as a opportunity to become better. They're like, hey, wait a minute. All my life I've been told that I'm really, really great at this, but now that I've actually been handed the responsibility, the results are kind of shitty. Okay, so you have those are great. We love those people. We keep those people. And then there's the people who say, yeah, but this is because of this thing or the other thing, or because Ali's a micromanager, or because
Are you a micromanager?
Yeah, immediately we both jump in.
Yeah, let's get to that in a second.
You handed them on a silver platter.
I know, on purpose. On purpose. Logically.
He doesn't do anything by accident, this guy.
We want an exciting podcast, so here it is. So anyway, so you have those people who always see failure as something external to them because their ego does not allow them to see the facts straight. Now, those people, those end up in drama at bunq. These are the people who leave negative reviews on Glassdoor. These are the people who go complaining to people. So yes, in those times, it is very difficult to stay logical. It is much easier to tell someone, hey, you know what? Your mom and dad were right. You are the best person on this planet. Well done, you. Go sit there in the corner. Have you seen Silicon Valley? Mm-hmm. Go sit on the roof and have a big gulp. Enjoy it. You're the best. We're not good enough. No, that's just not the way we are at bunq. But I think, all jokes and kidding aside, I think anything that is worth something usually comes at a cost. Mm-hmm. Nothing happens out of itself. Everything costs energy. And I am incredibly proud on people like Bianca and some of the other names I named, and so many names I haven't named. And I am so, so proud to have an environment where these people grow up to be the best persons they can be. And I genuinely think that without an environment like bunq, of which there are not many, because it is much easier to be complacent.
It doesn't sound like a super easy place to work. It sounds exhilarating. It sounds like you are getting out of bed every day to solve very real problems. Sounds emotionally gratifying and I guess mentally gratifying as well, challenging. Doesn't sound easy.
It's not easy from a cognitive perspective, because you're asking the most out of yourself every day, but it is very easy from a life perspective. When you look back 10 years from now, you won't think, what the fuck was I doing? I wasted 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
For every day of your life, you can say, that day I made a difference. That day I helped a user. That day I created a product. That day I prevented an incident. Every day counts, and that is so fulfilling.
It is. I've never been bored one day since I've been at bunq. I was
Well,
just
you work
thinking
with
about
Ali.
it.
I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I can tell how that could be.
Well, I know.
Micromanaging, we want to go
Yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes.
Can I answer the question for once on that?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
I don't know what the
please.
question is.
She's
First, give me the
experienced it,
question.
so
Is Ali
Is he a micromanager?
No. No, I don't think so. So in my experience, for me it's twofold. On one hand, Ali gives me the idea that I can do anything as long as I set my mind to it. On the other hand, what I see happening often with younger people, they want a lot of autonomy, but they're not necessarily willing to take the responsibility that comes with it. And I think what we do at bunq, we give you ownership. Regardless of the role, you get real end-to-end ownership over something. So you're not just doing the task, you're owning the outcome. And flexibility or autonomy and responsibility are always these concepts that people throw around as if they're two different things. But in my mind, they're
The same.
the same, because if I give you the keys of my car that I don't have, you have the autonomy,
keys to your bike.
and I tell you, go drive to wherever it is that you need to drive to. You have the flexibility or the autonomy to drive that car without me sitting next to you, watching everything you do. But you also, I expect you to not crash it, or when you do, that I at least can
fix
ask
it.
you, hey, why did you do that? You know, so.
And if they're delivering a package for you, the package has to get there. That kind
In
of
one
thing.
piece.
Oh,
Yeah,
we've
in
been
one
talking
piece.
about package delivery the other day, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
DHL.
Yeah, but that's a
Package
whole
delivery.
different. I don't know.
It's a different podcast.
It's a different topic.
Yeah,
That's
we
for
can do
another
it.
day.
I know Elena's gonna get mad at us if we continue too much longer, but I have to ask you myself one question. Right?
Oh.
What do you think you've taught Ali? Like, how do you think you've
Oh.
changed him over the last 6 years?
Oh, I don't know that. I think that's a question that you should ask.
No, I'll ask him,
Oh.
but I want to know your answer. What do you think has been your biggest influence on him?
Well, I'm not sure what he's learned from me, but I think the biggest impact I've had, if I look at the last years, is, so we spoke about it before, right? You do a test when you join bunq. Ali is an ENTJ, I'm an INTJ. So in that sense, Ali is a visionary. He has the great ideas. He knows where to go. And I think what I helped him with is making sure he didn't have any blind spots along the way, because I'm very focused on details, a bit too much sometimes as well. He needs to drag me out when I dig myself a rabbit into a big hole. But I think that's the biggest impact I made. But we're going to find out whether that's true now.
Yeah. how has Bianca changed you?
Well, you see, I used to have this great mental coach, dear friend. He passed away, unfortunately, 2 years ago, and I still miss him. His name was Eric. And, we used to have these philosophical debates and conversations. And he said, Ali, a lot of people say you're very complicated and that you have high demands and those things. Don't get confused by that. That is not true. All you want is for someone to stand up every now and then and tell you, hey, you know what? That load of bricks that you're carrying every day, I'll take one of them for you. You've done enough. I'll take this one off your back. And I think one of the things that Bianca has done, probably more so than anyone else, is she has given me the feeling that I can truly give her quite a significant piece of my sorrows.
Wow.
That's an honest answer and makes a lot of sense for a CEO that's been through, well, not like you've had like a lot of ups and downs, but just fucking starting a company is incredibly hard, and taking one brick off of that on your shoulders would be very helpful. And I appreciate you open up on the emotional side too, because
Mr. Logical dropping the
I am,
emotional
I am,
bombs right
I am
here.
logical, but I'm a human being
Yeah.
too, right? So
Yes.
sometimes.
And I think
guess-
it goes both ways, right? But I really, because I consider myself fortunate to call Ali one of my closest friends as well. We don't only work together. And I think what makes us in a sense special is that we have each other's backs no matter what. Winning or losing, doesn't matter.
Definitely. And I think that's a bunq thing, right?
Also.
I was literally
that's why
going to
the
say
Yes.
that sounds
important.
cultural across
Yeah.
the board.
Yeah.
I think we have to wrap it up. Do you want to do a final question, or was that
No,
it?
I mean,
Okay.
that was.
They just want to take a nap.
I was like,
I learned a ton. I mean, as I said, no bunq. Like, as an American.
Soon, I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
If the
coming-
regulator favors us.
Well-
Soon. Fingers crossed.
You have an administration that's probably going to be pretty open to
Yeah.
a lot of banking things coming over, and a lot of change as far as that goes. But culturally, more than anything, I've learned a ton from you too, and I think we have a lot of these conversations, and I don't think I've ever heard a single one of the answers that you've given before, and the uniqueness of it. I hope you maintain that, and I don't know how. I wish we had time to ask how you continue to scale that level of rigor.
we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2, but I hope you do. And
Next year, part 2.
there you go. Next year,
Sixth
part
time.
2.
Locked in.
Yeah,
Locked in.
and hopefully
You
by
heard
then
it
I have a
here.
bunq
Another
account.
Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah,
you will.
Yeah, and
Well,
this
we might
Thank
have to do it in Vegas. You never know.
Oh,
They
we'll
might
be
have
there.
some good news
Timing,
by then.
depending on
Send
timing.
us an invite, we'll be there.
All right.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we have it.
Locked in and on. Yep, still recording. Perfect.
Come on.
Perfect. All right. Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.